What's up, world? This is Levi Craig with another speed paint watercolor video. This one is of Groot, and I did a pretty interesting little layout of them all. Kind of did all three versions of Groot that I like. I did the big Groot, and then I did the Ragnarok version. Right? That's what, I think that's right. All right, and then I got the baby Groot at the very bottom. And like I typically do with watercolors is you prep your canvas, you sketch it all out, and then you use a kneaded eraser. I like the kneaded eraser to erase it all lightly because it doesn't leave any debris. And then I'm working on the light colors. First I did the background, and now I'm playing around with the large Groot's face up there. Or I kind of am doing a complementary scheme where I've got this green to blue in the background, and then I'm going to have a lot of reds and oranges to make that wood-like texture. I'm pretty much planning on doing a lot of neutral tones for the Groot characters, and then I'm going to go overlay it all with a purple. The technique I like to do with this is kind of when you put down a light color, you can overlap colors. It's kind of hard to do, but I like using that dark purple to create shadows. And that's a kind of a pain in the butt thing to do, but if you wait for that light orange and pinks and reds is to dry, and then overlay it with a dry purple, you can create some really fun textures that create shadowing, like I'm doing right now. Like got his eyes kind of laid in there, and I'm using a size 1 brush. So it's a very, very thin brush. It's almost like a pin needle almost. So you have to constantly, go back over to your mixing tray and add more paint to it because it's constantly drying out on you. So I'm getting in there, working with that dark purple, and I'm using a dark red as well to work on the shadowing and to create some dripping textures, because that's probably my favorite thing to do right now with watercolors is adding drips anywhere I can, because I think it creates a really cool complement to the medium. I don't know, watercolors to me has always had a flow or an energy to it that I just love, and the drips really emphasize it. So I like to stick it wherever I can. Plus it creates a cool texturing effect. I don't know, and it's fun. And if it's fun, I want to do that. So right now I've jumped down to the bottom here, and I'm working on baby Groot, kind of doing a little dance move, and kind of focusing on the light neutral colors first. I got some yellow on the face going into a little bit of orange, and the majority of his body is that magenta red that I like to use. And now that it's dry, I'm kind of touching in there a little bit with that dark purple, and once again with that size 1 brush to get in there with those little details. For the neutral colors, I like to use as a size 6 thin haired brush, and that's what I'm using right now on the medium sized Groot now, is that long hair size 6 brush. And I've really I've changed up the colors a little bit on that. I started with the yellow in the center of his head, then orange on the left side, and that magenta on the right, and kind of just building it up slowly but surely. I'm not soaking the canvas first. I just work on a dry canvas because I think that I get much better color control than if it was wet. Because if it's wet, you got to be fast, and the color just bleeds out everywhere. I kind of want to control where it bleeds because I want those hard edges for the silhouette of the character. Since the canvas is dry, you can create hard edging. If you can see, right now I'm messing around with the eyes on that medium-sized Groot, but if you look at the silhouette of the character, there's a hard line separating him from the background, which is that yellow to green. And I really like that hard edge. If the canvas was all wet, that would just all bleed into each other, and it would create a cool effect, but it'd be harder to differentiate the various subject matters. So now I'm jumping in there and doing that splattering effect that I love. Watercolors is such a loose, fun medium that you can just put a big puddle of color on there and blow on it to create that splattering. You got to be careful with it when you do that. You don't have to, but I'm very careful with controlling what direction I want. If I want it to be like this, I make sure to in that direction. If I want it to be like this, I make sure to in that direction. But you got to also make a note that when it flays out, it's just like your hand almost. Where if you blow in this direction, it's going to flay out. See how it flays out a little bit like there, and a little bit right there. if you try and create a more, directional thing where it's going straight, you got to be very, 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 very close with it. It's kind of funny to think about like the different ways you can blow on the canvas, like a versus you got to kind of control your airstream. But I don't know, that's being a little silly. I'm pretty much getting finished with this painting now. Just got a little bit more details to do, which is all the dripping. I mean, that's like I said, I think it adds so much to the canvas, having some sort of texture to put over everything, to kind of tie it all together and create a fun flow that just carries through on all these characters. Because I wanted this canvas to be kind of like a homage to the not necessarily the evolution, but like the timeline of Groot, because it's a character that's gone through a lot of turmoil and a lot of changes, and I wanted to show kind of like, something fun that paid homage to all that. And then I just kind of went with that size 6 brush and just splattered in a few areas, and that's that red and purple, and that blue water, and again to create a layering with the things, and that's pretty much it. Please give me feedback or critique, thoughts on this piece. I certainly enjoy it, and I hope you guys did too. And check out my other stuff. I've got Instagram and Facebook, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.